another video of Trove. I'm your host, Monkey Kid Lag, and today we're doing just a quick tutorial for beginners, of course, because I'm a beginner, on how you make the fluxes. Because the fluxes are useful to buy the monies. Well, basically, flux is the money in Trove, and you need to have that if you're going to do anything, basically. Because the marketplace you can open by pressing U. It's super fun and simple. You have to be Mastery 10, which everybody is. And this is where I make most of my profits because I have a bunch of stuff. Now, if you want to make your flux so you can buy your own stuff, that's great. It's probably recommended because I would hate to try to earn flux some other way just by like farming shadow gear and like turning it into the loot collector. Nobody does that because that's way outdated and boring and stupid. So now so this is my quick tutorial on how you do the flux making. Yay! Method of Trove flux makings. I know the game is laggy. Do not blame me. Blame the Wi-Fi stuffs. Is to go around and take the dungeons. Dungeons. You should all know what dungeons are. If you like some reason don't know what dungeons are, well then you probably don't play Trove. But dungeons are a way that you can get the biome-specific materials. I'm not talking about getting the materials from the chest, because that is the chest, and then putting them in the loot collector, because that is very slow and inefficient. But I mean, just like going to the dungeons, seeing if you can find any. Not what I wanted to do. See if you can find any of this stuff like robotic salvage, fairy dust, or bleached bones. Now these are very common drops. You don't have to farm for that long. You could just go on for like 20 minutes, farm these, you probably have at least 10 by that time. And then even if you aren't a very serious farmer in Trove, it's not even a big deal. You can do whatever you want to do, right? Really, there's a bunch of ways to make this, and I'm going to go over all of them, but this is one of the ways. As soon as you get those drops, you can sell them in the marketplace. Usually they go for 70 each, which is not bad, but I sell them way under that price, like 10 each. Because I think that's a way to make flux faster, and I prefer making flux fast than making it a lot over a bunch of time. So, basically, this is one of the ways, and we'll get on to the next one soon. To make flux is actually one that is very time-consuming, and you have to have at least a couple thousand flux for this one to work, and it is very time-consuming, so you want to choose wisely, and you'll see what I mean in a second. So, this one is very much about your marketplace knowledge. I am not very good at playing the market, but if you just go into the buy category and search for random stuff, anything with flux or whatever you want to do, you could even use Glim, it doesn't matter. We'll search through this and then buy stuff that you usually find on the higher priced end. You can buy that stuff, and then once you buy it, you can sell it in the market for a higher price, because this is why I said this is very time consuming. For two reasons. You have to find something that can turn a big profit, otherwise it's going to take a long time for you to buy one and then sell it for a slightly higher price. If you sell it for too high of a price, it's going to end up way over here, and nobody's going to want that. So, you can sell whatever you want, really, in here if you choose to use this method, but I wouldn't recommend it because it is very time-consuming unless you're buying something really profitable like mounts or something like that, but you have to have a lot of flux for this. This might not be a beginner tip. A lot of advanced players use this too, but it is just very tricky, and I wouldn't waste your time on this one. Now we are on to the #1 method for beginners to make flux. This is all my opinion, so if you have any better opinions that might work for you, if you are 2000 power rank and under, which is beginner status for me, please leave them in the comments below, and I will try to make another video to come out about best ways to make flux in Trove. Thank you, and let's get to the #1 way of making flux for beginners under 2000 power rank. Making flux for beginners under 2000 power rank in Trove. This one is under 2000 power rank, but for this one you have to have it probably recommended at least 1000 power rank or up more. I barely make the cut for this one because my character is very new, but this is the #1 way of making flux that I use. So, if you go to the sky biome in Trove, you have to have this in a club world, so join a club with one of these, and then you can go basically around and farm radiant shards, and then these things sell for They're not as expensive as other so you get a lot of them in these biomes. And this dungeon seems to have a lot of radiant shards, apparently. Yep, that's a lot. That is very much radiant shards in the dungeon. Like, that's a crazy amount. So you get a radiant shard for every time you destroy these, and it seems like if you're a new player and you've just gotten radiant shards from the radiant sardines, the fish, that you'd think this is a really good way. I thought that was too, and I almost couldn't believe that I was getting this many. So after one dungeon, I have 47 radiant shards, which usually, if you can farm these dungeons in this guy, you can make a big profit. This doesn't take too long, and I find it to be much easier because you don't have to harm your character in any way, like defeating a boss. I would recommend having at least 1,000 power rank and a decent amount of jump, because if you fall off in the middle of a thing, you don't get any of your radiant shards, and it's kind of dangerous to be up here because there are the radiant giants which are lurking around. As long as you stay in the air, you should be fine, but they have very much health, and I wouldn't recommend coming back until you have at least 5,000 power rank. Now, thank you everybody for watching this video. I'm going to try to get some more top 3 or best ways videos out, maybe, if I can find enough time to get those out. And thank you everybody for watching, and please like, subscribe, and comment if you want another best ways to make Flux. Thank you!